for joining us here on Spirit, Soul, Body. I'm your host, Pastor Sonia Slayton from Living Word Church in Goodlettsville, Tennessee. So glad that you joined us today. For those of you that are new to the program, Spirit, Soul, Body has a mission to bring in wholeness to people everywhere in each area of their lives, their spirit, their soul, and their body. And today is no different. Today we have an awesome program. We're going to be talking about the family. Very important topic, very important issues that we face today in our families. And I hope that what we share with you today, you'll be able to take it and incorporate it in your own family. And my guest today is Theresa Allen. And she is with the University of Tennessee, Sumner County Extension, Family Consumer Science. She's an agent there. She's has 22 years of experience, so she's going to bring a wealth of knowledge with her today, working with families right here in Tennessee, and then the last 4 years she's been in Sumner County. She has a whole host of credentials here, holding a BS and an MS from the University of Tennessee in human, is that ecology? Ecology. So she's going to share with us some awesome things today, get us acquainted with UT Extension, let us know what they're all about and how they can serve us. So Theresa, thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you, Sonia.
And like I said, I just kind of shared a little bit about you, but you can tell us a little bit better. Tell us about yourself, your experience there with UT Extension. And, you know, for those of us that maybe are not knowledgeable, help us understand what the program is about and how we can benefit from it.
Well, the University of Tennessee Extension, we're actually celebrating our 100-year birthday this year. So all across the state, many counties, we're in all 95 counties, the Extension program, and we're doing birthday celebration looking back to the 100 years of what we brought. Things have changed. I was not there 100 years ago.
And I would not even begin to think that you were.
But things have really changed. Years ago, UT Extension, when people knew it, they knew it as University of Tennessee Agriculture Extension Service. We do still do agriculture programs, but because families have evolved in these 100 years, we're just University of Tennessee Extension. And we are the faculty in every county that are representative. It's like your own University of Tennessee office in every county. And a lot of people don't know all the great programs that we do.
I didn't. I really didn't.
And today we're going to talk about family consumer science, but we also have an agriculture program where we do commercial production and for farmers. We also help urban, especially being in Davidson County and Nashville, do soil tests. We have a wonderful master gardener program when people need help with pruning trees and shrubbery. And then we also have the youth component, which you've probably heard of, 4-H.
Yes, yes. And I have, absolutely. Even growing up myself and in high school and whatnot, I did know about the 4-H program.
So the 4-H, and 4-H has evolved over the years. You know, there's still livestock shows, but 4-H teaches a lot of life skills, a lot of things that young people need, workforce prep development, communication skills, how to give a speech and things like that. So we're kind of involved.
That's awesome.
Now, family and consumer science, which is my passion, our mission is to strengthen individuals, families, and communities through education. So basically I'm an educator in all aspects of the family. And family, that encompasses eating, it encompasses financial management, encompasses health, nutrition. I do a lot of parenting classes. In Tennessee, if you get a divorce, you have to have 4 hours of parenting. Do first-time home buy.
I didn't know that.
You didn't know that?
No, I didn't.
And that's to teach people as they get a divorce to still be good parents and not to put their children in the middle of the divorce.
Oh my goodness,
So that is something that a lot of people use Extension for also. We do financial management. We have a program called Tennessee Saves. We do bankruptcy counseling when people are going to get bankruptcy in Tennessee. We do a lot of the first-time home buyer classes. We do chronic illness programs. Arthritis. I do a program called Dining with Diabetes. We do Tai Chi for arthritis, which is a really fun program that teaches people with arthritis better balance and things like that. Then we do basic things, like I've helped people choose roofs for their homes before.
Are you serious?
I do a canning college. We do food preservation. When in the winter, when the power goes out, and people don't know if their food is good in their freezer or if how long, they call the extension. We tell them all about food safety. We do radon education, poison control. We're a little well-kept secret.
Well, let me say this. I mean, seriously, I didn't know. I actually was introduced to you guys. We had one of your other colleagues come to our church and help us with a health fair. And
yes.
I was so impressed with Leanne that I wanted to do something like this, and this is how this all came about. So I didn't know. So even today I'm learning even more. I mean, you're just a wealth of knowledge sitting here. And I know folks that are watching some of the things that you just called off, they can see where they could benefit. So how, who is eligible, and how can they get some of these resources?
Well, we are in every county. They can, of course, we have a phone number, but if they have an internet or a computer system in their home, they can go to University of Tennessee Extension, just Google that in. And if you get to the University of Tennessee, the main university, you can get back to corporate extension. But just put in UT Extension. It will come up. You can put in then your county, and you can find your county staff, what programs, and then it will list all the programs by the different areas that we do to find out about them.
Awesome.
Most counties have a calendar when the programs, some of the programs are free. Some, because of
that was my next question.
Economic, we are fee-based. Some programs do cost money.
Depending on what it is.
You know, we are state and county funded, so it depends on the program.
But it would just be good to go onto that website and to check it out and see what's offered and get in touch.
Yes.
Awesome. That is wonderful. I'm just, I'm really hearing family, you know.
Yes.
I really am. Years ago, if you had just said agriculture, I may have not, you know, listened, you know, and really understood and heard, because you only think of one thing with agriculture. But really, when you go back and think about it, feeding your family, providing for your families, that's what it's all about.
That's what it's about.
Making sure they're healthy, making sure that their needs are met in every area. And that's what this show is about, spirit, soul, body, you know, the holistic. We want the approach is holistic to take care of every area. So it sounds like this is a program that really just fits in with my audience, and I know that they're being blessed just by listening today. But we wanted to, you know, really talk about a specific topic today.
We do.
And you're calling it Strong Families Eat Together. Eat together. And you know, years ago, we wouldn't even have to make that statement because it was normal to eat with your family. But we've gotten away from that, haven't we?
We have gotten away from that. And when you called to ask us to do a program, because last Monday was Celebrate Family Day. And who knew we had a holiday or day to celebrate Family Day?
I didn't.
But it's the fourth Monday now in September of every month. And family mealtime, and as you and I probably grew up, that was just a norm. But we find now it's kind of become a dinosaur.
It really has.
And we know we can learn some really great things, so we kind of want to get back to that.
Absolutely. And I wanted to just give a few points before we go into it, and I want you to lead us through this. You're saying that it's the most important 20 minutes of your day, eating with your family, and that families, when families eat together, their kids are healthier, and we'll get into all the reasons for that. And it really helps with the overweight problem.
It does.
It saves money. And we want to get into what you brought with us to talk to us about, to help us understand each of these points.
Well, first of all, when we think about family mealtime and why people don't do it, and it's been interesting, I do research in some of the schools, and I'll ask children, how many times do you have a family meal together? And it's sad that many times it's not even one time a week. Now, as we get into this, we'll talk about the research and the best ways that we can do it to make the best benefits. But we understand things are different now. Families are busy. Back in the 70s when I was at the university, Sonia, I took a class, and it was that part of my job when I was working with families would be to teach them what to do with their leisure activity. Because we had so many appliances and we had so many technology. Do you know how many people call me and ask me what to do with my leisure time?
Wow.
Not many.
No, we don't.
Because we're busy.
We are.
And we think children are not interested. And the other thing is small screens and have kind of kept everyone entertained now. And we think that even though we have telephones and TVs and things like that, we don't think that family mealtime is important, but we're going to find out today why it is.
Absolutely.
We do know families are different.
Yes.
And family mealtime pertains to every family.
Absolutely.
I'm not talking just a mother, father, 2 children, a cat, and a dog here.
Right.
I'm talking to single parent families, grandparents that are families.
Absolutely. All different types
and
now.
even sometimes families that are cohabitating together, not even married. They still need to have family mealtime
Okay.
to do that. So how do we go about doing family mealtime? It's the most important 20 minutes of the day. We want to think about, why is it important to start with? We want to think about having better nutrition.
Okay.
So why would family mealtime be the most nutritious way to teach our children?
Well, when you go out to eat at a restaurant, you've given somebody else the control over that. And if you are doing it yourself, you have a better opportunity and better choices that you can make and model those in front of your kids. That's what I would think.
Exactly. Even though children sometimes have great demands about what they like to eat, where did they get those?
Yeah.
As adults and parents, we are still responsible for what our children eat.
Yep.
Now, when we eat as a family mealtime, it's a great way that we can teach our children lots of things. First of all, they can help us.
Okay.
And research tells us that when the children help us to prepare their meal, they have to learn to chop, they have to learn to wash vegetables, they have to make some choices, then they're more likely to eat it.
Okay, they were involved in it, they had a part in it.
They had a part in it. It can be even as basic as when they're choosing things, even like going to the grocery store or something, helping to choose some of the foods that we want. In America today, of course, we eat according to our food guide pyramid, and we know that we need to eat more whole grains. We need to eat more fruits and vegetables. We need to increase our dairy products, our calcium. And of course, we need protein, but protein is the one meal we overdo.
Wow.
But if we eat together as a family and we plan our meal according to our food groups, we can get children to eat more fruits and vegetables, which is very important.
It is. And like I said, we have forgotten and we think that a square meal is a fatty fried burger and some deep fried French fries and a soda. And that is, and some kids think that that's a real meal, and they don't know about the vegetables and the fruit because they've not seen it.
And where do you learn to eat new things? You have to be introduced to them. A lot of fast food does not introduce a lot of vegetables or asparagus or artichoke. I have a niece who loves artichokes, and she's like in second grade. I'm serious.
Now, I think I like artichoke dip, but that's probably not as good for me because they add stuff to it.
Whole artichoke steamed.
Is that right?
Yes. My children love broccoli. And where did they learn broccoli? It's because at family mealtime, we can introduce new foods and vegetables. Now, when we have family mealtime, it's not the time that we want to have war with our children. So when you're introducing new foods, you kind of have to have some rules about, you have to taste it. You may not have to eat the whole thing. Your mother may not have done about starving children in other parts of the world, and you had to clean your plate.
Unfortunately, I did, and I was, went to bed thinking about those starving kids. Terrified.
So we don't have to do that, but we have to take, a couple of bites, or sometimes it's based on the age of the child.
Okay. So you're basically saying you have to have a plan.
You have to have a plan.
And that there is a way to introduce it, that it's not going to be a bad experience.
Right.
Okay.
Because as we get older, it takes a long time to like certain foods, and we know to do anything, you've got to do it like a habit 21 times.
21 days.
Before it becomes part of your routine.
Okay.
So sometimes by introducing children to foods and vegetables, they think they're not going to like them. They may not like the texture, but you try it and you get to have it. And pretty soon they'll like new things and they'll try new things.
Awesome.
And parents are responsible for what they put on the plate.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Also, at family mealtime, as opposed when we go to a restaurant, the beverage of choice we can have at family mealtime is what?
At the restaurant?
No, at the plate.
At home, the better choice is water.
Water
or milk.
Right. How many children do you know in a restaurant order milk?
You know what? I don't think I've ever really seen anybody, except for maybe at one of the places that's having breakfast, you know,
Yeah.
you get the milk or the juice. But yeah, you don't see a lot of glasses of milk on the table at restaurants.
No, you don't.
Mm-mm.
But when you think back to Father Knows Best or the Waltons or the Cosby Show,
They always had their milk.
they had milk.
Okay.
And we know that's important.
Okay.
So we can eat much healthier.
Mm-hmm.
It's much more nutritious.
Mm-hmm.
We can get the children involved in it.
Mm-hmm.
We can help them plan the meals as we go through it. And we know, research tells us that children who eat at home and we don't go through fast food, we're not as obese.
Yeah, 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 yeah. That you know, and again, those hidden calories and all that fat, and somebody else is doing it, and you don't even realize it.
Right.
And you're consuming that. But if you know and you're preparing the meal yourself, you can eliminate some of those things.
And the other thing, when we think a meal takes about 20 minutes, and we sit down and we eat a meal together, you know, when we're going through fast food or we're grabbing things out of the pantry, it takes us about 20 minutes before we know that we're not hungry anymore.
Yeah, yeah.
And so when we eat together, so we taste our food and we taste it, and all that is a much better thing.
That's good.
So 1 in 5 children in Tennessee now are what we consider obese or overweight.
1 in 5. I did read a statistic that said that Tennessee is number 2 worse in the rate of obesity.
We dropped from last year to 2010, we were 4th from the bottom, and now we are tied with Alabama next to the very bottom. That's not a statistic we're proud of. And we know when our children are overweight or obese, then we have problems.
Yes.
Chronic illness, juvenile diabetes. So we know that can be a direct process of not eating correctly, and family meal can do that. And when children are overweight, they have problems also.
Yes.
It's not just that they're overweight and we're worrying about their health.
Absolutely.
It can also be their self-esteem.
Absolutely.
They don't feel good about themselves. And they don't feel motivated to exercise.
Nope, not at all.
Another thing when we have family mealtime, which is a really great thing, is planning our physical activity.
Okay, okay.
When we sit together as a family, we can think about things that we would like to do to exercise. We know that for adults today, which I hate this, but it's true, that we need 60 minutes, we need 30 minutes of activity.
Okay, 30 minutes.
For about 5 times a week.
Okay.
Children need
60
minutes. And years ago, when children rode their bicycles, they played outside when they got home from school. But now with food, with safety and neighborhoods and parents working,
and even schools are cutting back on their physical ed classes.
They did.
So that's taking that away. And look at the hours that a child spends at school.
They did.
You know, so there you've missed that. You've lost that.
And when children come home now, what do they want to do? They want to grab a snack, and they either want to watch TV or get on the computer or play their game equipment and things like that.
Absolutely.
So we're not exercising.
Not exercising.
We're not eating correctly, and we're not exercising. So family mealtime helps us work on both of those things.
Now, I don't know, did you guys know that family eating at the table together would do this much, that would change things around? Well, now you know, and she's going to help us to learn even more, to help us to take our families in a different direction. We don't want to be number 2 on the bottom.
No, we don't.
We don't. We want to move away from that.
We know that kids do better in school if the family eats together. There was a 2006 survey by the National Center for Addiction and Substance Abuse at Columbia University, and they did research on this, and it revealed that young people who would eat at least 5 times or more a week, those children did better in school. They were less likely, they were 2 times less likely to try cigarettes, and
Really?
1.5 times to try alcohol.
Really?
Right.
Wow.
We also know the research tells us that families that eat together, young girls don't have bulimia or anorexic problems.
Well, part of that issue, that disorder, is secrecy.
It is.
You know, so if you're not eating in secret and you're not hidden away, you can start eliminating some of that behavior and maybe detect it earlier because you are eating together.
Right.
So I can see that. I can see that helping with that disorder.
So It's a whole concept of the family mealtime. It's just not about putting food on the table and eating, which we all think. It's about knowing your family. When we sit down as a meal and we spend time together, we work on conversation and knowing what our children are doing. If you don't have a family mealtime with your children at least like once a day or once a couple of days, Sonia, how do you really have time to talk to your children?
You lose track of what's really going on. You really do. Because as your children get older and they're in sports or they go to rehearsals or practices for other things, they begin to have their own lifestyle or their own group of friends. And if you have no contact with them during the week at all, you begin to lose track of your own family.
Right.
You really do. And then usually when something horrible happens, you try to rush in to fix it. But we don't want to do that. We want to continue.
And that's an excellent point. Family mealtime is not a time to bring up some big conflict. Or maybe discuss the bad report card, which is going to be a little bit hostile environment. You want to save that for another time. Family mealtime, you want to include everybody there and bring up things that are good that you can talk about. Conversation with your children. We find that even young people today don't know how to talk to people. No conversation skills, no interviewing. You learn your manners. You learn your manners. You learn your manners. You learn how to talk. It's interesting how much of a dying art at a national convention that I went to a couple years ago. They sell curriculum now. Because a lot of families have not had family mealtime in so long, they think that they don't even know how to communicate.
Oh my goodness.
And so this curriculum is really neat. You can look at it. It gives you little cards that you can do.
And it says food for talk.
Food for talk.
Not just thought, for talk.
So if families are having trouble thinking about things to talk about with their children, you can have little cards like this one says, name 5 things that make you smile.
Oh, well, mine is actually a Bible verse. And it said, a wise man controls his temper, and he knows that anger causes mistakes. And that comes out of Proverbs 14:29. So you can actually be doing, helping your children with scripture and helping them in that area as well at mealtime.
At mealtime.
That is awesome.
It's thinking about, it's a good time to talk about things that maybe you want, lessons you want your children to know. And this is one, it says, your best friend steals something from a store. You are with him. What do you do?
Good.
Do you confront him? Do you tell his parents? Do you nothing, or why?
That's character building.
It's character building. And so you have the whole opportunity with your children to talk about what's going on in their life. We know that children who communicate with their parents take an interest in their schoolwork and their activities, do better in school.
And all this from eating together.
From eating together. And you don't have to spend a lot of money. Let me show you. An easy way to do it, instead of buying a curriculum, I don't know how much I paid for that, is just get a coffee cup. This is a big mug. But write down things that maybe make your own little suggestions. I'd be happy to send people a list of things to do. And you pull something out of the coffee cup, and that's kind of your conversation starter. So they know that's very important too.
Now what's this? I've been looking at this. It's bright, my favorite color. And I want to know what that is.
Family mealtime is, we always think about the traditions of holidays, like Thanksgiving is coming up, and that's a really favorite holiday. But one of the things in my family, even though my children are grown now, when they went through college, I did not realize how important it's the little things you do with your family to make them special. But we had this plate. It was given to us by a friend. It says, you are special today. You can make your own or whatever. But when my children were little, if they did really good on a book report, or they may have gotten the gold at the soccer game, or they did good in music, or they practiced, or whatever, they would get to eat off the special plate that day. On your birthday, you got to eat off the special plate. Mother's Day, Mom got to eat off the special plate. Never thinking much about it. And when they both went to college and they had to write a report for an English class, they wrote about the tradition of the red plate.
Isn't that something?
So it's just the little things that you do with your family.
That is so wonderful. And I wish we had hours, but I'd love to have you come back on, because you all have so many awesome programs that you provide there, and I want people to get to experience some of them. Again, they can go to the website, and they can find out more. I see that you have cookbooks and you have coupons.
Don't make family mealtime hard. Get 3-ingredient cookbooks. Have your children plan what's on sale at the grocery store as they plan what they're going to have. Used to, when children would go through the grocery store and pick out their favorite cereal, now have them pick out their favorite fruit.
That's good.
Because we don't worry. Teach them to read the label.
That's good.
Then they can learn to read what's good for them. And the lessons that you teach at family mealtime will last them. Turn off the TV. Don't bring the cell phone.
Now that's for everybody, because
that's
Dad,
for everybody.
Mom, and all the kids nowadays have cell phones. But again, you said 20 minutes, you know?
20 minutes.
Most people don't sit at the table for hours for a meal.
No.
So it's not a long time, but it really gives you so much in return for that short time.
It does. And it doesn't have to be homemade. If you stop by the store, pick up a roasted chicken, a bag of salads, some whole wheat bread, some milk, put it together, eat it together, you still save money by eating together.
Theresa, you are so full of so many awesome, wonderful ideas and so much wisdom, and I just love it. And you know what? I'm sorry I didn't know about UT Extension before now, but I'm glad I know now, and I'm going to be able to take advantage of some of the things that you all have. I hope those of you that are watching today that maybe was trying to think about what you could do to help your family, and today you turn the TV on and look what you got. You got so many awesome ideas, and it's all centered around sitting at the table with your family, with your children, getting to know them better, them getting to know you better. As we were talking, Theresa, you know what I thought, well, who would want to go out to eat every night of the week if you could do all this as a family?
Make it fun. Keep it simple.
Fun.
Keep it fun, but just do it.
But just do it.
Just do it.
This is awesome. Again, you know, our favorite scripture, our theme scripture here for this program comes from 1 Thessalonians chapter 5 and verse 23. And it says that the very God of peace himself will sanctify you wholly, your whole spirit, your whole soul, and your whole body. And I like to break that down. We are spirit beings. That's how God made us. We have a soul, which is our mind, our will, our intellect, and we have a body, and we need to take care of that body. So I love programs like this, UT Extension, that really is holistic, and it really goes out as their mission to touch each part of a person's life. Because you threw out so many things here, you know, you talked about even helping people pick out a roof for their house, you know, or knowing if their food is bad. So go on their website, find out about UT Extension. And Theresa, thank you so much for being here. We are so honored that you are here. God bless you. Tune in to see us next week, and we love you, Nashville.